Yeah, dog. It's your boy Thomas G. Welcome to R2R Wreck to Riches. This is officially live stream number 23. We're dual live streaming right now. So we're on X and we're on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, pound the like button, subscribe, post notifications. You know what to do, get that YouTube algorithm going. If you're on X, hit the heart button, pound the like button. Did you love it? Retweet it, repost it, whatever you got to do. Let them know that we're live, and we're going to talk about how the market has chosen EHEX and HEX. And gosh, I already had a cup of coffee, but I'm still tired. 6:30 in the morning, my kids wake me up, and they have their finger in my nose, and they're drooling all over me, kissing me, hugging me, and then I'm just like barely getting up, have a cup of coffee, and it's like the same thing over again. It's Saturday. Why are they up on a Saturday morning at 6:30 after a week of school? Where does this energy come from? You know, I gotta get up, and then the TV's blasting like hot dog, hot diggity dog. You know what I'm talking about if you have kids, right? Freaking Disney, but or Mickey Mouse, Mickey Louse. They say Mickey Louse. Anyways, so we're going to jump into how the market has chosen, right? The market has chosen EHEX and HEX. The pulse chain ecosystem is finally pumping. This is the sentiment that we've needed for a long time. But let's talk about the price of Bitcoin really quick before we get into the pulse chain ecosystem and then reflect the price of Ethereum. Everything depends on Bitcoin right now. Are we going into a bull market? Well, Bitcoin's got to hit this, and that. Bitcoin right now it's below 60K. We were above it. It's $59,911 minus 631 bucks. Okay. So Bitcoin, it's doing its thing. I'm more worried. And if you're a pulse chain investor, you're watching this very closely, right? The price of Ethereum. Because again, like I said, we are a massive leverage play on Ethereum right now. We need Ethereum to quadruple 5x. At least a 2x. Give me the 2x. $2,420 Ethereum. We're only down 20 bucks today in the red. All right. So, man, look at this. All these wicks all the way up. Hey, man, it's looking positive. Because in crypto, all you need is like a tiny bit of a heartbeat to get everybody excited again. And then everybody reaches in their pocket and starts to buy the dip. There's very few people who are like, yeah, fund the bags, keep talking, because I'm going to keep buying. Now let's look at GoPost.com. I heard that they're gatekeeping TGC, PTGC. I saw that out there. Is that true? Let's see if they're gatekeeping that token. I wouldn't be able to understand why that is. If that's the case, Richard, you better just own them because that's not cool. In cryptocurrency, especially with HEX, we've been gatekept by CoinMarketCap. So why would a GoPost.com gatekeep a token that's on Pulse? Put them all out there, especially that one. It's outperforming. It's one of my best investments. Jumping into the price points of everything on Pulse Chain. We got the 4 horsemen. Really, we got 5, the fantastic 5, because you got to include EHEX, right? Pulse 0.0000392, 19.8% in the green today. We got some greenery in the scenery. We needed that. Pulsex 4 zeros and a 205. That's 26.6% in the green. Ink, the farming token, right? This is supposed to be the token that everyone says, the only thing you're going to do with ink is farm it and dump it. I mean, you can look at it that way. We've seen Pancake Swap and all these other farming tokens, but incentive token has the unknown factor. There might be something you can do with it later down the road. That's why it's called incentive token, you dummy. Hex. Now, this is Pulse Chain Hex, the one that was apparently chosen. The market had chosen to go with P Hex, this one right here, versus EHEX. That's what everyone was like, Richard flooded my EHEX, my Ethereum hex. It's the end of the world. I hate my life. It doesn't matter that we're in a bear market and everything's going down. It doesn't matter that Bitcoin isn't at all-time highs. But I'm going to feed into this narrative that he hates EHEX and let me sell it for a huge loss, right? We're at 2 zeros and a 564. Half a penny, call it that, 52.4% in the green. So if we hop over to look at EHEX over here, part of the Fantastic Five over on Pulsechain, you're gonna see. You're gonna see right here, baby. Look at that. Look at that. Whoop. There ain't no sack daddy ain't coming. All right, can you hear? Let me fix this. All right. Is the audio back? The audio is back. I don't know what happened. Maybe I slammed the table too hard. Yeah, but what is it about school days? They can't get up for the life of them. Then the weekend they're just up and at it. It's crazy. It's crazy. And so you know. Hyper and Hex best picks the next 6 months. There's a lot of moving parts for everything in the Titan X ecosystem. We all have that leverage on Ethereum. We're in the same bed here. You know, we need Ethereum to go up, but at the same time, we have Ethereum in the back pocket. We have the RH sacrifice funds. Titan X got all this build on Titan X ecosystem. Ethereum sitting in these smart contracts for buy and burns. It's exciting times, right? Sat here chopping carrots. Hey guys, if you guys know, go back to last night's video. Show you my strategy for Bad Bunny. Chop chop chop. Lost audio. Is the audio back? I'm showing that the audio is back. Are we good? Are we good? It's back. Okay. He confirmed it is back. All right. So I'm excited about what we're seeing, the greenery and the scenery, obviously. And who was the guy, right? Who was the guy that was in his car when all this stuff was going down, making the video saying, listen, man, this entire ecosystem is not going to work without EHEX being successful, because everybody that believes in Richard Hart were the investors of HEX, which did the 10,000X, right? That's where the glory came from. So to me, it didn't make sense that he was going to allow his firstborn child just to, float away into the distance and die off. There's no way. It's like, okay, PHEX is here. It's like when you have a kid, your first child, and then your second child's born. You put a little bit of attention on the newborn because it needs to be, fed and comfort and held and all that. So you baby it, you coddle it, and yeah, your first child kind of takes a hit because it's kind of the child's on its own, but things group back together. And in this scenario, I think EHEX has to succeed to win the hearts of all the people that are down on their Ethereum hex, to be honest. And I do believe in the parity. I've been talking about this parity, that they'll reach parity, because there's not a lot of money that needs to blow into EHEX to shoot it up to where hex is. So think of it that way. It got the love and support, the early attention. It was his brand new newborn baby, PHEX. EHEX just kind of on the back burner. And when he threw that tweet out there about the market has chosen HEX over EHEX, he was pointing out what you guys decided. He didn't say like, oh, this one sucks and all that. It was pointing out data. Anytime you're watching things on TV and they're talking about data and the polls and all that, you get all worked up and angry. They're just pointing out the numbers. How accurate they are, I don't know. But we can see firsthand that, yeah, the market had chosen PHEX. And when he sent that tweet out, it dropped drastically. Now, BankerX has EHEX hostage with all that EHEX, and they have all these sell walls up and on single-sided LP so they can ditch out. And I just never understood why anybody wouldn't take advantage of this opportunity, because you got to think, when the time comes, and we'll go to, let me pull up, what is it called? What is the name of the website I was at really quick? Oh, is it Watch Richard Hart? No. RH something. Oh, I can't think of it. I'm trying to pull it up right now. I've had it up like every video. Is it Watch RH? I can't remember for the life of me. I'm getting old, man. I'm getting old. But we've been watching the sacrifice money there, right? Oh no, it's called Look. into RH. Let me pull that up really quick. So if you go to look into rh.com, right, you can see the entry with the SAC fund money. And yeah, I know a lot of you people are like, no expectations. And how could you say that he's going to use the SAC funds? He never promised that. Listen, bro, gave you a simulation of what he was going to do back in early 2024. He made the bridge fee 0% to come from Ethereum to Pulse, and then he injected capital. That to me is like in good faith. Like, hey guys, I have good intentions here. Here's a little bit of money for you. Pump. All right. I'll be back. The play here is I'm going to do this. And he invested into Ethereum, 171,088 Ethereum, right? That position started off at $645 million plus. Now it's minus $231 million. It is what it is. His average price point was $3,700. So he's in the red. He's in the red, but so is the rest of the market. You can see all these entries that happened in March, right? And the injections were happening. So he threw us a bone, and then he went in on basically the Ethereum top. He's human. Listen, he may have called the Bitcoin top, and that still probably stands till this day. But when it comes to Ethereum, not so perfect. I am not going to be upset for that. I'm just, he's a human being, man. But at the end of the day, he could be right, he could be wrong. But I'll tell you one thing: if we do go on a bull run, right, and Ethereum takes off, and that money gets injected, imagine what it'll do to the price of EHEX if he decides to come back and say, "I'm going to buy some EHEX, I'm going to buy some HEX." I doubt that he injects money in just Pulsex, Inc, and the HEX. There's a reason why he left it out last time. He wanted it to bleed out because you do got that Banker X that got all that money. You do have that scenario. And what has he done? He's played a game of chicken with these guys. And they keep selling at a low price because they had an offer on the table, whether it was a over-the-counter deal I heard about, for a lot more money that they can get now. Now they're extracting peanuts versus that. They could have even sold at higher prices and brought it down to this price, but they allowed it to. Their greed got the best of them. And their greed is going to continue to get the best of them because they've been washed out, like completely dumped a fortune of money if they just like staked it long term. If you staked it long term, right? Let's say they did a 6-month stake, all of it, then you're looking at like, okay, they want to commit to that, and maybe they want to sell the top. I can respect that, and we can move from here. But he wasn't going to feed into that with SAC fund money, right? He wasn't going to give them the money up front. You got to work for it. Show me that you can stake it. And that didn't happen. And I'm putting myself in that situation as far as it. Brit VR. Whoa, Brit, where you been, bro? This has been years. I remember when I first got into cryptocurrency, like 2015, 2016, you and Trayvon, like you guys were like the ish to watch. I miss your content. Hopefully you're back at it again. But do you make that trade for trading all your posts for EHEX? For me personally, I've made that decision, and here's why. Because the billions of dollars that were sacrificed was for Pulsex and Pulse. So you got to think that when the bags start to pump, that there is going to be a lot of sell pressure from people that were in the sacrifice phase that want to break even or get out at even a 2x. And that's going to be a transfer of wealth. So it'll break through that. I think naturally in a bull market, without the SAC funds, people will buy through that. It'll be volatile, but it'll eventually go up, and then the SAC funds come in. But I've made that decision, for those reasons. And then people would argue, well, there's a lot of bags of HEX that people have. True, but at the end of the day, everything's going to have massive sell pressure. But in the bull market, things go up and then they come back down pretty quick. If you remember when HEX hit the all-time high, it wasn't there for a month. It wasn't there for weeks. It happened. It went down. It happened like in a half a day's time. Went up, went down, went back up, went down, went back up, and then crashed down hard. Small recovery, and then went into the bear market with the rest of crypto. When things go to all-time highs, it happens so fast. You don't even realize it's the top until you realize that now you're selling for less than you could have. So it happens so fast. It happens so fast. Did you make that trade all pulse for EHEX? I made the trade for majority of my Pulse to go into Hex, and I've bought an EHEX, and I left myself with very little Pulse. My biggest plays right now are Pulsex, Hex, and EHEX. Those are my primary focuses. Pulsex because of how the mechanics of the exchange, right? The volume picks up, it's going to burn more Pulsex. So that consistency of burning the token, making it deflationary, is what I like. So that aspect of it is why I picked it over Pulse. Now, some people will be like, hold it all. I'd rather just shrink down my economic energy into just those 3 tokens. I'm not a financial advisor, for damn sure not a professional, but that's my decision. And that's my reason behind it as well. But going back to the price, man, the price right now, let me take a look. It's going up. Yeah, I mean, I think right now will reflect to the price of Hex. Everything's going up. Hart's Law kicks into effect with the entire ecosystem. Hart's Law is all tides will rise together. Pulsex does a 10x. Everything paired with it is going to be happy and is going to move together, right? And that's happening across the board. Even when you go to the free copies, the one I've been telling people was the one Billy Gunn to choose based off what Maria, the Tropa developer, Maria herself, who claims to be taking the charge of bringing PDI to parity, said that Dystopia was being created for a web of liquidities to support USDT, just like the original web of liquidity tokens was supporting PDI. She said on camera, the best investment is USDT because of how far behind it is to PDI's price. Now let's jump into the narrative that PDI is going to $1. She said it should happen in December of 2024. We're about 3 months away, right, from her prediction. She says once PDI were to hit PEG, remember, this is a narrative. This is a developer saying that that's what they plan to achieve, that USDT and, well, PUSDT, right, the free copy, and USDC would trail behind it and meet it at PEG slowly after. So the better investment would be the one that was behind in price to have the most gains on the way up. That's what came out of Maria's mouth. And I went with that direction early on and I loaded up and I'm reaping benefits now. It's looking really good. I'm in more X's as far as my investment in USDT versus PDI because PDI was already up in value. And the ratios are changing. Things are looking good. I'm excited about this. So let me pull it up on Twitter really quick because what I like to look at is, and we've been looking at this on live stream on why I'm excited about the PRC20s, right? So this is Curve Protocol. Curve Protocol, everybody knows it. You can see the value there, $160 million. Great. Somebody triggered it in September, in early September. It had been triggered a few months behind, but now it's consistently doing some activity with the free PRC20s. So originally when Pulsechain came out, we got the free airdrop, we got the free USDT, a USDC DAI, they called it PDI. This contract was triggered probably by Richard to start doing all these shenanigans with these free copies. Why would anybody want to turn this on? What is the point of messing with these tokens on a Curve protocol, right? And what is going on here? I don't know. I have not figured it out yet, but it's constantly throughout the day. It's messing with all the forks as far as the stable tokens. Some people are saying it's ratioing it so that they keep moving up. So the idea is the activity that's going on between what's happening on Curve Protocol and then what's happening with MakerDAO, the collateralization of the stable tokens, is it's creating new floors and it's going up, coming down because people are selling, and this building and building and building slowly. So could we see that on the chart is the question. So what I see on the chart was when this kicked on into gear, right? And it was around this time, it did go up and then it came down and it went up. People sold the sell pressure and then it went down and it keeps doing this. So you should see a constant up and down slow movement all the way to what do they say? To PEG. Richard Hart on camera has said many times, you can go out there and see it, do your own research. I am eventually going to make my own stable token. Key thing here, I am going to make my own stable token. I'm not going to collateralize a token over that's bridged over or anything like that. I'm going to make it. And there is proof in the pudding. If you go to the tweet here, I'll pull up my X account. If you go to my X account, I pinned it at the top, right? There's two addresses. The first one's going to show you the MakerDAO contract, and the second one down here is going to show you the address ending in 2822. This is the address that at the very beginning of the inception of Pulse was minting PDI. There was like 500 million PDI minted. And then the contract as far as to mint PDI was fixed and corrected, so it couldn't be minted anymore. And then LP was added so that this wallet can come in when nobody was looking or paying attention or anybody even cared, so that it could buy the free copy of Aave over on Pulsechain, and it owns the #1 wallet. So if we go to Dex Screener and we take a look at the proof in the pudding here, all this activity going on, and for what reason? I don't think it happens just for, shits and giggles, to be honest with you. So we're looking at Pulsechain version of Aave, right? Low liquidity, small market cap. You wouldn't think anything of it. But that wallet that is a known Richard Hart wallet, all right, that's linked to RH. Whether you like it or not, it's linked to RH, which leads me to believe PDI is his, right? Because of the minting. But this token, Aave, took the #1 spot by adding liquidity and purchasing the free copies, and then sat there and just been holding it. So if we go back to this wallet, though, really quick, right? Let's share the tab here. $9.8 million, basically in free copies. Wrapped Bitcoin, it has 32,671 wrapped Bitcoin. All right. These are the free copies. It even got Wise token. These were copied over, and it's got the #1 Aave position. And you go to the LP pools, it's paired up to free fork, 221,000 in LP. This wallet is linked to RH. I know that. You'll know that if you do your research. And it's providing liquidity and Maker, USDC. So something's going on. Something's definitely going on. Does anybody have the definite answer of what's going on? I mean, you tell me. Let me look at the chat here. Your content is great. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. It's nice seeing you. It's been a long time, brother. It's been a long time. You're an OG. You're an OG. One of the persons out there that motivated me originally. I had a channel back then when you guys started. I got rid of that. Then I had a second channel with like 30,000 subs. And I got burnt out. But then I realized I got to come back, and I got to come back for good, because when I go into the real world, I can't talk crypto with anybody. So when I left YouTube like a year and a half ago, and I was like, I'm going to get rid of this channel. It's got 30,000 subs, my hard work from all those years. I said, I'm done. And then I was in a world all by myself. Nobody knows about this stuff. We're the 1%ers. Only people that you can speak to about now are people that are like the young generation. They know about Bitcoin and Ethereum, but they don't know nothing about these DeFi streets. They don't know anything about jumping into other blockchains and going here and there to play the DeFi game. They don't. People do not know. So we are in, the 1%ers of this world. What else is the price that we want to take a look at that's going on? So PDI. Look at the price of PDI. Look where it's at. See how it's the same chart. It's the same chart. If we go here, right? They move together, but they're at different prices. You see, this looks identical to USDT. Boom. And that curve protocol, whatever's going on here, I'll run through the transactions really quick so you can see why in the world would this be triggered to be doing this. Minus 1,997, minus for this, plus that. All hours of the day. All hours of the day. And this has been happening for weeks now. What is the purpose? There's only probably a handful of people that know, that are behind the scenes a part of this, RH and the team, and those really smart blockchain analysts are like, dude, it's going to peg, Contact Fu, what's up, bro? Thomas G's back. Are going to use your old song. I love that song. I reached out to the maker of that song to get the song back, and didn't ask for permission. He said, yeah, he'd hit me up. He's got Crypto Talk with Thomas G and R2R song. So those will be back. I'll play them at the intros. People have been asking about that. It's funny. People love that those rap songs. And DeFi Proof, shout out to him. All right, so jumping back to the price of PDI, these are all narratives, and it's all coming to life. As soon as people are making money and they're in the green, oh, this could really, really happen. And then obviously when the price is down, there's some huge doubt, right? One of my favorite plays though, Solid X, right? Made a lot of money in Solid X. Got into Solid X like $5, and it went all the way to $200. That was great. But you see it now. You see how things change when the market as a whole goes down. In March and in April, when the prices were peaking, everything was making people money and going up, right? And Bitcoin was like 73,000. It hit and then started going down. Hasn't gotten close to it yet. And then everything goes down. So the return of the MAC, when we go back to 73,000 and we double that price in Bitcoin, which I think is absolutely possible, imagine what the price will be of everything that you saw go from a hero to a zero. We'll go back from a zero to a hero and then reach all-time highs past what you saw prior. Because that was that Bitcoin was $73,000, $65,000, right? Now you have opportunities. This is your opportunity of a lifetime to collect and to start to load up on things that you like. You do your research, you spend your time on it, and you like it, load it up, right? And that's the same thing with HEX. These markets allow you to relive moments of generational wealth, right? And the way they do that is through cycles. Once you understand these cycles and you say, hey, I made a ton of, like my first entry on Bitcoin was $250. I wrote it to 20,000, sold most like 15,000. Then it went down to $3,000. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And people were saying it's going to zero. So I was like, let me just buy a few for the road. I could have bought way more. But at the time I had like 28 Bitcoin or so. So I sold enough to be like good for a few years. So I bought the dip and bought a few and I held it and, for all that time. And then it went up again. Its last cycle from that point in my first bull market to down to into a bear market, my $3,000 entry paid off above 60K. We go into a bear market. It dropped down to like 18.5 and below, like $17,000, $16,000 Bitcoin, maybe 15. You bought that. Look where you're at today with the price of Bitcoin and where you could be at the next peak of the next bull run. So each of these tokens have a cycle of opportunity to build wealth. You have to survive and sell and then ride it out and buy the absolute bottom if you can. But even with HEX did a 10,000X. We saw what it did, went to 50 plus cents. And then it rode a nasty, gnarly bear market, just like Bitcoin. See, I didn't get afraid when Bitcoin went 19, 20,000, went to 3,000. I was like, I still believe because I just had huge gains. And I thought, there's no way. Like, this has a cap supply of 21 million, takes X amount of years to mine it. Like, let me swing at it again. So that lesson allowed me to continue this going on because now I saw that HEX went down, EHEX especially. And that's why the opportunity to understand, look, it took a beat down. We've been in a bear market. The SEC came after Richard Hart. All that stuff are all important variables that actually can help you make a lot of money because the fear and uncertainty and doubt is not just people on Telegram talking mess. We're like, oh, FUD, get off the Telegram. It's truly fear of what's going to happen in the market based off these red candles creates fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And people are afraid to lose money, so they panic sell. And they continue through the course of those cycles. Opportunity of a lifetime, if things play out, these tokens, and HEX is going on 5 years in December, in the next cycles, always reach new all-time highs and crash again. So if you were to experience EHEX and HEX, PHEX would have to go to its first all-time high. EHEX would have to go above 50 cents to hit a new all-time high. It happens all the time. And what would be a better bet than in a project that's been around for 5 years plus and it's still relevant? People still speculate good and bad about it all day long. If they ain't talking about your project, good or bad, then you're not important enough. You're probably not going to do anything, whether you're in a bull market and in a bear market, you're just going to go down and never come back up. Let's see. I got some questions here. Ink or Solid X? Solid X is heavily paired to Pulse, so if Pulse goes up, Ink's probably going to get a Sack Daddy injection. Not financial advice. My pick would be Ink. Conviction is what you're saying. Yeah, man, you got to stick with the plan. I know that you're in Zen, and people have been saying the forever down token, right? And just the momentum and just the thought that X1 is around the corner, the green candle's coming. So your conviction and your faith in that particular platform, protocol, and X1 blockchain coming out. Imagine when hey, Jack tweets, X1's live. Here's the auctions. Go burn all your Zen. What do you think is going to happen to the price? And what do you think is going to happen to your pockets for holding on and collecting the bottoms? The forever down. You're going to see a nice correction, and you're going to see all that money you spent go back up if things play out that way. And I believe they could. I'm thinking we hit all-time high in December or January. What do you think? If we're in the same cycle that we've been like clockwork when I first was watching you, we went into December, if you remember, when Bitcoin hit $19,000 and then to the beginning of January. And then we just went down towards the end of January of what year was that? 2017 going into 2018. I can't remember. I think that was it. And then we were in a 4-year cycle. So yeah, that possibly could play out. I think everything starts to transition after the elections. Bitcoin traditionally, if you go look it up. Bitcoin goes on its bull market, like it starts to take off after the presidential elections on these cycles. Lemon to lemon is what you're saying. What's up with Axis token? Why is it always in the thousands of dollars? How does he do that? It's low liquidity with Axis. So all it takes is an injection to shoot up the price. When you have low liquidity, you can do that. You can shoot it up. And then as fast as it goes up, that's as fast as it can go down. In a New York minute. Boom. Right? If you want to pull up Axis, we can take a look. I follow him on X. I've never spoken with him or anything like that. But primary example. And this is why Richard Hart says market cap means nothing. Axis only has $252,000 in liquidity. It's worth $16,914. Market cap is $16.9 billion. That market cap is extremely, this is some tomfoolery going on. It's ridiculous. But you can set that when you launch your token, the ratios, right, between the liquidity and the market cap. And people would do that for a more appealing approach for people to be like, oh, that's a 10 million market cap. And then they write it out and they're like, oh, it's billions now. Obviously, if you have one of these tokens or even a 0.2, 0.3, you crash this down and it takes a 50% hit in just one sale. So what's going on here is, it's going to ride the wave of Wrapped Pulse. I know it was part of SolidX. I don't know if they're all together now, to be honest, if they're still in cahoots. It's been a while since I paid attention. But I know SolidX had Nope token and all that, and they were all grouped together. I don't know. But come on. A $16,000 token with a $16.9 billion market cap, $252,000 in liquidity. You know the drill, man. You know the drill. It's because Firewall owns 95% of it. Yes, Firewall does own 95% of SolidX and then these tokens as well. I haven't spoke to him in a few months. So when I spoke to Firewall, I didn't ask him about Axis. I barely even asked him about SolidX. When I had the opportunity to pick the whale's brain like that, really wasn't I was going into questions like, what do you think SolidX is going or anything like that? I really just talked about personal stuff between the two of us, to be honest with you. But the one thing that we did talk about the market as a whole is, things turn around. Sentiment changes. And when sentiment changes, it's because of these green candles. And it was just, we both agreed that we believed in Richard Hart and what he's doing and what is soon to come. So I think that I was surprised that we had the same mindset. And like I said, we had just a private conversation about life, and he's a good guy. So I could see myself, continuing to buy Solid X. I own a pretty decent sized bag. And probably all the way to 25 bucks, I'd feel comfortable, and then ride the wave on the next run. Good morning. What's going on, bro? Thank you for dropping by. Thank you for dropping by. Nice to have you here, man. Don't forget to pound the like button. Thank you for your support, Crypto Arborist. Don't forget to follow him on YouTube. He's got his own YouTube channel. He's got his own Telegram. Show him support. Good guy. Glad to have you here. Jumping into what other tokens you guys want to take a look at. I know everyone likes PGTC. This is probably the best investment I made in all of Pulsechain. And it outperformed Pulse, and it went to a 1-to-1, it went to a 2-to-1. It's the gift that keeps on giving. It is like the leverage on Pulse. It's like the Dragon X to Titan X. This thing's a beautiful thing. So it was designed almost identical to a Tropa with a few twists. It's like a Tropa ecosystem on steroids, literally, right? So you want to go check out my video I made with them with an interview on YouTube. Just go back. You'll see it's interview. It's an X space I did with the founder of PTGC. Big brain energy, but the big brain brought the big gains, right? And mad respect for PTGC and their entire ecosystem. They're doing something special. So if you got in, or if you plan on getting in, you're going to really be happy with the end result when things start to turn around big time. Teddy Bear. This is the center of the Atropa ecosystem, which people think this is going to be like it is the meme token of Pulsechain, right? DWB, done. Any other Pulsechain meme token, done. This is the only one got any backing or support because they had a community of the PDI narrative people and the Tropa believers, and then Maria showed her face, and it was a wrap, right? It was a wrap. So this one's heavily paired. All tides rise together. Hart's Law. You guys know the drill there if you've been watching Richard Hart. Do you think Q would come back to life? Roz just made some interesting announcements. No, I do not. I think that they did not capitalize on their opportunity at the right time. I think now people are going to shift their money somewhere else. And when you have you see DeFi dApps, they come and go. And they're riding a cycle just like everything else. Everything that's a DeFi dApp during a time when the market's hot will have some nice success, good success, some way more than others. But when the top hits, they ride a vicious downtrend. But in their case, they die and they're gone. Whereas Bitcoin and Ethereum and HEX, they just drop in price, opportunity to buy the lows and wait till the next cycle comes and performs and gives you wealth again. Where dApps are like, users stop using it, users start applying their money into it, stop talking about it, and it just kind of just fades off. And they're high risk, high reward. So that's most of DeFi outside of like farming, high risk, high reward opportunities like that. I think they fumbled the ball, and it is what it is. I have nothing against Roz. I think he had a good attempt. He had something good going, but when you have opportunity like that, you have a small window to gain people's trust. What do you think about DXN? I think it's good to burn Zen. I'm personally not going to be getting into DXN, but a little late to that. To catch up to the people that got in early with DXN, just go look at Craig Wright's bag of DXN, and it's based off players. So the bigger the players, the more players are in there, the bigger than you, the disadvantage you are in when it comes to burning your tokens. But at the end of the day, if you're burning Zen, it should pay off when you get that burn record, right? I don't know how well it'll do. That's my honest. I don't know how well it could do. I just know personally I'm going to stay away. Good move when X1 launches. It might be. But I'm like, I burn my OP Zen on Zenify, and I'm really in it for the burn records because I burn it every day on Zenify. And it's like for some entry on something that barely pays anything, it just keeps the ball rolling. And I'm doing it for the burn. there's not much profit. I make enough money to roll into the next cycle and have enough Ethereum back to roll back in and keep the wheel going on a small scale. But I'm in it for the OPZ bird. Oh, you know what? That's what I want to talk about. Remember, I told you guys. I said this the other day. I know we're talking about Hex, but we'll sneak into OPZ here. This is going to be probably my biggest play ever. And I've done detailed videos about this, so go watch them. But the 300 amps is all you need to know. Everything else on Zen, 3000 AMP. This is 300. The 300 is done by 60 days plus. Supply shock is here, and it's coming, and it's going to evolve and snowball. When X1 kicks in the auction to burn to go into X1, this right here, OPZ, is 6.25 months ahead of all the other Zens on every single chain. On every single chain, it will take them 6.25 years to get to where OPZ is at today, because it's 10 times harder to mint than all the other Zens. So you do the math, you tell me what you think. Yeah, I'm excited about that. I got like a big old smile on my face, because it's like when you know a secret to something, right? And nobody else really knows the secret. They're unsure, and there's nobody talking about it. So that's good for me. That's good for me. That's like EHEX. Everybody was like, hey, like, what EHEX? Are you bullish on it? I was like, hell yeah, I'm bullish on EHEX. But then the rest of the crowd, which was the Hex OGs, and everybody was like, so upset with Richard, so mad, selling their bags, swapping to PHEX, swapping out. I was like, buy the fear. And then I go, why aren't people buying the fear? Because a lot of people are new. They're like considered Hex OGs, but I got to remember, they weren't there in December of 2019 when I was buying it. In January 2020, when it was barely a month old, they came like right before big payday or after, and then saw the bull market and were like, I'm an OG. It's surfacing like you're not so much of an OG, and cryptos has on how cycles work, right? X is taking off right now. We're gonna go to what, 2 zeros and a 6 soon. Look at all the coulda, woulda, shouldas. This was all an opportunity for you, and I was going off on some wallets with this, and I just saw the opportunity. Like, man, EHEX is dropping this low. EHEX too, like fat finger, and it still could correct. All right, it still could correct, and I'll buy it up. But if it doesn't and it keeps going, the rest is history. Let's see. Honestly, I think Jack will launch X1 after the bull market is mostly over. Titan X and Pulse can gain massively now. Jack doesn't even know the game theory for X1. Yeah, I think. Well, he's come out and said on an X space that was on. It's ready to go right now. It can go mainnet today. They're implementing the wallet for SVM to be able to communicate with an EVM wallet, or just have its own wallet. I think they can have them communicate with each other, so you can see and swap your balance, bridge it. I'm not sure, but it's all dependent on the wallet right now. So once they figure that out, they got to have a bridge. There's a lot of things, but it's right around the corner. Time doesn't stop for anybody. You get one day closer to everything. They say you're one day closer to death. You're one day closer to New Year's. You're one day closer to Christmas. You're one day closer to your birthday. You're one day closer to the bull market. Whenever it comes, time keeps on ticking. Time keeps on ticking. So we're about 45 minutes in. I got to go with the kids. Enjoy the weekend. We got some big boxing. You see, this is okay. I woke up this morning, bought everything that I wanted to buy. I'm happy with that. Now, the second half of my day, here's the stressful thing. I'll be honest with you. This is what's really stressing me out. Do I buy the Canelo fight, or do I buy the UFC fight? Or do I park two TVs next to each other at my brother-in-law's house, and he buys one, I buy one, we just watch it simultaneously, right? Brian Ortega's fighting, Sean O'Malley's fighting, Sweet Hands, this is his name, Sweet Hands. Canelo's fighting Berlanga. I think Berlanga could knock him out. Caleb Plant, that's who Sweet Hands is fighting. And it's a big fight night, man, all the same night. And the market is popping. So thank you guys for joining. Don't forget to post this out on Twitter, repost, hashtag all your favorite hacks, EHEX, everything. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I appreciate everybody. We're at 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, almost 1,600 on X. So you guys are really, really, thank you guys so much for supporting me and spending your time with me, because outside of this little bubble on camera that I am, I can't express any of this stuff to people in the real world. They don't know what I'm talking about. They don't care. They want to talk about famous people, football, a little bit about politics, because that could end up in a fight, you know. But that's all. Oh, did you watch the game? No, I didn't watch the Cowboys. I stopped watching football when crypto came into my life and realized I could change my life forever. When I make it to where I want to be, then I'll turn on the TV and watch a bunch of millionaires throw a football on a field. Because whether they win or lose, they're going to the bank and saying, "I don't matter. These people are betting a lot of money on us. I get mine." I get mine. Bro, go to Dragon TV, $5 a stream. Oh, crazy. Boring. So yeah, guys, pound a like button, drop a comment. Thank you for all your support. 2,000 subscribers plus on YouTube, 1,600 almost on X. Get the word out there. I want to grow and make crypto, make crypto great again. We're gonna do that by positive energy, unity between all the communities, and then green candles bring everybody together. Till next time, we'll do it again. Yeah, dog.